All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. I want to do my daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. We do this every day on the channel, so if you're interested in Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if you enjoy this video, please smash the like button and feel free to drop a comment below with any thoughts. So I made a video early this morning before the market opened, based on the fact that, there's some global events going on here that are bigger than the stock market. So I let everybody know in that video that I was not going to be selling any stocks today. And if the opportunity presented, I would be trying to dollar cost average in on a limited basis. So we did take a very wild ride over the last 24 hours with Bitcoin. So I want to go through that wild ride, and you're going to see that I actually ended up unable to dollar cost average into anything because the acceleration was so fast at the opening. After the first 5 or 6 minutes, it was already too late to jump in from my perspective. So having said that, let's take a look at the big board and see where everything ended on the day today. All right, you can see that this is a very green board. There are 2 exceptions, and they're just down 1%, which is Wolf and DMG blockchain. So other than that, this board is green from top to bottom. And some of the big winners on the day, it looks like CleanSpark at 12.72% was the biggest winner on the day. And then you had Cypher at 10.98% up, and then Bitfarms at 10.78% up. And then it looks like in 4th place was Marathon at 9.13% up. Lots of 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s on the board as well. So it was a good day to a very good day for most of these companies. And when we take a look at the charts in detail, you're going to see intraday, they actually moved considerably more than this. There was some gigantic moves inside of the Bitcoin miners today and in Bitcoin itself. So you guys can take a look at your own stock on the board and see how it did today. Let's switch over to the Bitcoin chart. Okay, this is the Bitcoin chart on the 30-minute time frame. There's 2 orange lines. This orange line was where Bitcoin was when the equity markets closed in the USA yesterday. This orange line right here was Bitcoin at today's close. So if you paid no attention at all in the last 24 hours, it looked like a fairly dull day. Bitcoin was up 2%, which is nice. That's a good up day. As you look at the chart, you can see the ride was much crazier than that. So somewhere as we got into the evening last night, it became apparent and the news broke that things had escalated between Russia and the Ukraine. And you can see on some larger volume here, we went down quite a bit. So somewhere around midnight Eastern Standard Time, we hit this pink line right here at about $34,300. We moved up a little bit and then retested that just about 2 hours later. And then we inched up to right here. This candle was the opening bell of today's market. So you can see we were about $1,000 off of the low on the day for Bitcoin, but we were still several $1,000s below where we closed the day yesterday. We then proceeded to head up in the morning, and then somewhere in the afternoon, we raced up several $1,000s. This 30-minute candle was 1 hour before the market closed, and you can see that this actually wicked up all the way above our next line of resistance at 39,652. So from the bottom in the middle of the night, this pink line, to this candle wick up here, Bitcoin moved over $5,000 throughout the course of the day. From yesterday's low until the close, Bitcoin was up $4,000. Some very good momentum, and you can see right here at the beginning of the afternoon, there was another big spike in volume, and that was a big green candle. Now, we went sideways since then. The market is now closed. We've pulled back a little bit. We're retracing our steps. So what I'm looking for is to see if we can hold this line here at 37,435. This has provided significant support in the past. We have crossed above this line. We did pull back a little bit. Right now we're in the middle of it. And again, these are only 30-minute candles, so we're green at the moment, but it looks like there's a decent possibility we're going to retest this line. So we have to see if that's going to hold. If we can hold and bounce off of here, that would be a very good sign, because I do believe this represented a short-term bottom. Barring any other massive update on world events, I believe that this was a local bottom. I think we've been waiting for this Russia-Ukraine situation to escalate to where it is. So if I move out to the 4-hour time frame, you'll see in just about 10 days, Bitcoin was down about $10,000 or 23%. That's from February 15th to February 23rd. So that's less than 10 days. So this was a big pullback. Basically, this was the period of time, and you can see we were going down in somewhat of a straight line. The Russia-Ukrainian situation was escalating through this whole time. I think the market was pricing that in. The equity markets behaved very similarly. The equity markets opened gapping way down and then ended very green on the day, particularly the NASDAQ and the Russell. And as we've seen, for whatever reason recently, Bitcoin has been fairly closely following the NASDAQ, which ended up 3% today. So I think we had our 20% pullback. I think this is a local bottom. I'm going to go back to the 30-minute chart and say that I do think we need to hold this line. If we don't hold this line, you know, we've seen just in the last 24 hours just how volatile Bitcoin can be. So I guess I would say nothing would surprise me. I would not be surprised if we go back down and test this recent low. We do have a very strong line of support at 33,000. So that may still be on the table depending on world events. So I'm going to zoom out to this chart. We've been looking at this chart for the last month on the channel, and you'll see there's a green ascending line that has been a line of support for Bitcoin over the course of about a month. And that line started on January 21st. So you can see we touched it again here on the 27th. We touched it again here a couple of times on February 3rd. We touched it on the 19th, and then we fell below it on the 20th, and we have not been back since. However, I did leave this line, and I've talked several times about the fact that I'm going to leave this line because I do believe we are going to jump back into this trading range, and this is going to reestablish itself as support in my opinion. So I'm adding this white portion here so that we can extend the existing line. This line is unchanged. I've extended it because I believe that in this time frame we will get back above here and reestablish this as support. I think we were on a natural trend up until geopolitical events pushed us down unnaturally. Things came to a head last night, and I think that bottomed out. And I feel like we're going to get back up above this. Now, we may not go straight there. We may go down and test some lower points in the middle. So we'll have to wait and see. So I guess I would just warn that all things are on the table. You've seen the volatility of Bitcoin in the last 24 hours and over the last several months. I will also say this is how I'm expecting 2022 to be. I think we're going to have a very volatile year. I do believe that we will be trending upwards. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I remain bullish despite the recent downward activity. Obviously, we did just go through probably 3 months of what would be considered a bear market since we hit our high at 69,000. We did get down to 33,000. So we had a pretty long run down. We seem to have flipped that. Somewhere near the end of January, we seem to have reversed that, and then we spent a month going back up. I think that got temporarily interrupted by world events. I think we're going to get back on that track. So I am bullish over the next 4 to 6 weeks on Bitcoin. Having said that, please be careful. This is not financial advice. And with Bitcoin right now, absolutely nothing would surprise me. I do think we're in for a very bumpy ride in 2022. Even though I remain bullish, I don't think we're going up in a straight line by any means. So I want to take a look at a few of the Bitcoin miners today that had the biggest jumps in the day, because I just want to illustrate just how quickly this window of buying opportunity evaporated this morning. And that is why I did not end up buying anything. So one of the things I was looking to buy, this is Cleanspark. Let's start here. This actually had the most dramatic effect. So you can see yesterday Cleanspark closed at about $8.42. This morning it gapped down $1 down to $7.40, and you can see this green candle is the open. So Exactly 9:30 this morning Eastern Time, or the opening bell, was the absolute low on the day for CleanSpark. Within 5 minutes, most of this candle was eaten up. Now, even after this half an hour candle, if you had bought, there was still plenty of upside left in the day. CleanSpark did end up on the day 12.72%. However, having missed this gigantic run in 5 minutes, I passed on dollar cost averaging in. I've already bought several times at this level. I missed this one. Hopefully some of you guys caught this right away this morning. This thing gapped down at the opening bell. So at the opening bell was its absolute low on the day. And if you see here, the closing bell was within a few pennies of its absolute high on the day. So this day was pretty much up in a straight line while the market was open. We have pulled back a little bit after the market closed, but during market hours, this was just a straight line up today. This thing was up almost 29% from the gap down at the open until the close today. It was up 12.72% from yesterday to today. So a very good day for CleanSpark, but massive, massive volatility. Okay, the next one I want to go through is HIVE. So HIVE had almost the exact same experience. If you look, this is the opening bell. So we did candle wick down a little bit for a minute or two at the open, and then boom, straight back up. If I go from the low on the day until the close on the day, and again, this closed just a few pennies off of its high on the day, this one was up 22% intraday, and on the day compared to yesterday, we were up 7.82%. So a good day for HIVE, and a very volatile day, particularly these first few minutes. Just going to look at one more, and it's a very similar story. So again, here's Marathon. This is the opening bell. So this is another one that opened at the absolute low of the day at 9:30 and closed at the absolute high of the day. From its low to its high, this was up over 17%. And remember, this is Marathon, one of the larger market cap ones. So a 17% move is very significant. From yesterday to today, it closed today 9.13% up from yesterday. So that is a giant move up. So this was very similar amongst a lot of the Bitcoin miners. I picked 3 that had some of the biggest spreads on the day. But you can see in all cases, you had just a few minutes here in the morning to make your buying decision. Otherwise, it raced right back up to where it was yesterday. And then actually it still would have been a good buy because most of them continued up for the rest of the day. So again, this is not financial advice, and please be careful. This 24-hour chart shows you just how volatile Bitcoin can be. So that's all I've got for you today on Bitcoin. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.